Hello and welcome back to Love Advice TV. My name is Coach Adrian and I am joined by my close friend, Coach Steven. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
Excited to do yet another video with you. So, today we are talking about signs that a man is playing mind games with you. Unfortunately, some guys sometimes are not being forthright and they are not telling you the truth. They are not communicating with you and being honest about what they really truly want, and they're just trying to get in your head. They just are trying to seduce you for the wrong reasons. And I wanted to bring in my good friend Coach Steven to give you a male's perspective on what to watch out for when a guy isn't being very straightforward with you. So Coach Steven, what are some of the signs that a man is not a good candidate, or for a man that isn't really serious, that women should kind of pull away from?
From a general standpoint, an obvious one is when his actions don't line up with his words. I always tell my female clients, with men, you always need to pay attention to what he does. Don't pay attention to what he says. And there need not be any confusion regarding that. It's pretty black and white. I'll have some clients who'll say, I don't get it, I'm confused. You know, he's saying this, but then he's doing that. It is what it is. He's just not doing what he's saying, you know, and that's what you need to be paying attention to, what he is doing, okay? And if his actions don't line up with what it is that you want, you need to reconsider the situation and go back to the drawing board and re-strategize.
You're absolutely right. One of the common situations and scenarios that I see in coaching sessions is when a man is constantly doing whatever he has to do to sleep with you, and then will leave you hanging high and dry. And he will basically manipulate you into getting in bed with him and have to basically feed that thirst, that desire that he wants for this intimacy, and then he'll disappear from the face of the earth. Okay, and he'll do it again until he feels that you either have moved on, that you're no longer interested, or that you've become a challenge again. And you're caught in this cycle where he is not interested, then he comes back around, sleeps with you, and it keeps going on and on and on and on. And unfortunately, women have a tendency of lowering their standards or letting a man play into their insecurities until they get what they want. And you should not ever lower your standards for a man.
It's okay to take risks sometimes and take a chance. And that is why some of you do that. You take a chance and say, all right, if I make the first move, or if I am a little bit more open to giving him what he wants, then maybe he'll give me what I want. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. It might work out for the more nobler types, but more often than not, it doesn't. So you really need to be wary of when an ex is becoming territorial, right? Because that's really what this mind game thing is based on. He's just trying to keep you in his grasp, even though he isn't planning to take you seriously, at least not for now. Our hope is to turn that around by motivating you, by making him see you in a different light, by making him see you in a better light, so that he stops playing those mind games with you.
It's very common for men to emotionally blackmail a woman into taking them back, if you're in the ex-back process. So he will feed off of your emotions, and it's very, very dangerous in a way, because you're not rebuilding a healthier foundation or a healthier relationship. All that you're doing is feeding a man's ego. And Coach Steven is right. Don't look at what a man says, look at what he does. And if a man is telling you that he wants to get back with you for him because he misses you or because he loves you, that should not be good enough. And I highly recommend that you don't sleep with him until you have more guarantees. He should prove to you through his actions that he's ready to make you happy. Not for him and for his ego or for his emotion or for his sake, but because he wants to honor you. And he's actually, not just talking about it, but doing things to show you that he's ready to make you happy. And that's number one. Number two, you need to make sure that the man also is able to verbalize what he has learned since the end of the last relationship. What is going to be different this time around? And you should not sleep with him until you have certain guarantees that you're not going to get sucked back into an unhealthy relationship.
Don't get sucked in, okay? Let me repeat that. Don't get sucked in. Allow the man to give freely of what he wants, and then simply pay attention to the content of his character and the way he moves about as you move forward in this next stage of your relationship and the reconciliation process. You don't need to engage in pushing or pulling in order to get him to give you what you want. All you need to do is just let him give freely, okay?
So at the end of the day, if you want to make sure that a man is not taking advantage of you, you need to ensure that you're emotionally independent, that you have digested the deception and the pain and the grieving phase of the breakup, and that you can stand alone and fulfill yourself. Because you'll have a lot more clarity when you do so, and it'll be very clear and evident when a guy is trying to take advantage of you.
At the end of the day, some men are of the caliber that are willing to play these mind games, and some aren't. And it's unfortunate that some people run into these types of men and have to deal with them and be in a relationship with them. We can't help fall in love with who we fall in love with. And we also need to recognize that men will always be men, and women will always be women. And your best bet is to learn how to navigate these spaces and learn how to manage the way that the opposite sex works, or the way that men work rather, because also we don't want to exclude our LGBTQ audience members here. We have a lot of support for you guys as well. So we're not only specifying heterosexual relationships here, but rather the mind games that men play. But it's important to recognize that you'll never change the hard wiring of the sexes. And it's important that you rather learn how to navigate those characteristics and navigate those spaces.
If you're clear with what you want, what you aspire for, if you understand who you are, your values, what it is that you really want out of a man, the odds that a man will take advantage of you or play mind games diminish significantly, because you're grounded in your certainty in who you are. And so if you have not done the work, I encourage you to go back to the drawing board to figure out what it is that you truly want and why, what motivates you, what drives you. Because if you are insecure, those type of men will play off of those insecurities to take advantage of you, and that's not what we want. The
only men who are willing to play mind games are the types of men that see a potential prey, a potential victim, for lack of a better term, right? A man will only play mind games with you if he feels like he can. So don't let him feel like he can jerk you around or take you for a fool or take you not as seriously as you would like to be taken.
At the end of the day, we're here to empower you. We're here to celebrate independent women who just are exceptional. And you are one of those independent, successful, exceptional women. Perhaps you just forgot, and we're here to remind you of that.
Or men.
Or men, for that matter. Absolutely right. And so I hope this video was helpful. If it was, fuel our fire, like it, leave your comments below. We will be here to provide you with feedback, a little love, a little push along the way. If you're still confused, it's okay. You can book a private coaching session with this lovely gentleman right here.
You can hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Or with me. It would be our pleasure to help. Keep fighting the good fight, my friends, and see you soon.
See you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.